Welcome to the Gransberry Chronicles Weekly Pick'em. It's week 8, and I'm your girl, the Gransberry, and I got my boy D Jones on the left,
What's popping?
and I got my boy Coach B Pat on the right.
What's up on a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Look,
Early.
early edition, Philly
Happy hour.
special,
Happy hour.
Philly special, all of that, because we happy, but about homecoming more than we are about last night. But we're not
Yes.
but we're not gonna stay there too long. So why don't we just go ahead and D Jones just kill us with teams for the week right now.
Teams for the week. We're going the ones that make me weak. They make me weak.
Yeah. WEAK.
Look, we got to go with the home squad offense. Offense specifically, the Texans offense is in the teams that make me weak this week because your defense gave you not one, not two, not three, but 4 turnovers and a touch, and you still couldn't get the job done. So they made me weak. The offensive coordinator made me weak. How you going up against the best defensive line in the league? You know what you're going up against. D'Amico called it out on the first press conference for the week on Tuesday, talking about that D line. And it just seemed like they wasn't prepared. They didn't have any short passes. They didn't have any quick routes. So yeah, they got to get it this week. So we got to go and start right there with the home squad. What you say? I know you saw it.
I saw it. Um, it kind of took me back. Well, I say kind of took me back to Detroit versus Texans. Another
You're right.
another
On
night,
a Monday night?
But you know what,
Sunday
though?
night.
That was Sunday
Sunday
night.
night.
But you know what was different on that one, T? We played well and offensive played well in the first half. They came back in the second half and they couldn't hold them. We didn't have that last night. We didn't play
Nah.
good from the jump.
That safety, that should have been a safety. Yeah.
That was a safety. But first and goal at the 3.
Which
They
one?
just
Wait,
we
back up.
couldn't get it in. He talking about the first sack, the first
18-yard
drive,
sack.
the first drive
The-
where CJ got sacked
but,
and they
but it
gave it
wasn't a
to
fact
Dak.
under the NFL rules.
Under the rules, the tackle started before he got in the end zone. But yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
it is
So
the rule is the rule.
the
But
rule is the rule, so it's not a fact. They didn't miss
it's
it.
not a safety. Yeah, it's not a
I
safety.
mean
It's not
safety.
a safety.
So it's
Yeah.
clear what it was. We might
Yeah,
not like it, but we needed to avoid 2 more points on the board. So it was
I
so
loved
for
it.
all those who was out there saying shout out to reminiscing on Dan Orlovsky, it was not
No,
Nah,
because
Dan walked out the end zone. Like, man, I'm out. I'm out.
it,
This Dan got the snap. He dropped it. He's like, I'm out.
hey, we're not
he
gonna
didn't
relive
go
the
through
And
the
he
play.
was
memory.
at the game. That was the crazy part. He
He
was
didn't
at the
walk out the
game.
end zone. He was still playing the play. He just didn't
No,
realize he was out the end zone. He was still
Hey,
running. He was still running, looking
y'all,
downfield.
guess what? YouTube got it. You want to relive it?
Yeah,
YouTube,
it's still
and
there.
they can do that. But I really have some fun things for teams of the week, So I'm going to bring up my week 7 bingo card because I feel like that's the best way to address my teams of the week.
Yeah.
Now, for me, first was the Colts still got the best record in the league. And, even though it's in the division, even though we Texans fans, what we have to also look at is this is good for our division.
Yep.
Either way, this is good for our division. So I'm gonna give them their props on that. We still got 2 matchups against them. So for right now, we giving them their props. Second, we got to give a shout out to Jones. Man, hey, the ref literally saved JSN. And I shouldn't say save
He didn't
JSN.
save it, but yeah.
But hear me out on this.
I feel
I
you.
would say more so he saved the Texans from a few flags and fines.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he realized in that moment that it could escalate without even the wrong intentions. They were all just being football players. And with him being a former football player, he was drafted by the Cowboys, played 7 years in the league. I think he knew immediately like what would happen. He knew that the Texans had to defend their space, but he also
but
severely
didn't Stingley like get pushed and all the way over there?
Look, if you get to the logistics of it, he just face
Yes.
palmed him, which he allowed to do when he would make the pick. He stiff armed him.
Yeah,
but it made his helmet come off. And being a football player, you respond when somebody get the best end of you. But he forgot where he was for a second. So then Harris got ready to protect to Stingley, and then it just became it was about
Harris
to be a free for all.
It was cool. Everything was cool. Everything was to me, regular stuff. Harris did too much. He came in a little bit later and pushed him, and that wasn't necessary. But yeah,
football.
It's football.
Sometimes you just go a little too far in football, but I think what was good about the moment was that we immediately knew that everybody remembered don't touch the ref. Because as soon as the ref shielded him, everybody
touch him. Everybody
put their hands up. It's like my students do it. Hands up. I'm not touching none of the equipment.
No touch.
Yeah. That was
especially after we just watched a player get suspended for a week for touching the ref. So, a game, same difference a week. But so now we see that movement. It just was good to see everybody back up. But keeping it going, we have to give a shout out to the Broncos for scoring 33 points in one quarter.
That's crazy. Win.
When they were celebrating DT, who played briefly for the Texans. I enjoyed him while he was here for us too. And they were putting him in the ring of honor that day. And what a way to step up in the fourth quarter on all sides of the ball. Because what people keep mentioning is scoring 33 points, but they forget about the defensive effort to limit the Giants to not scoring, but once.
The pick.
The
pick was major. The pick was major because you still was 2 scores down to get a pick and pretty much in the red zone. That's that instant change of offense, and then boom, you score right after. That is really when that happened. I was like, "Oh, it's just to happen."
Momentum.
D. Jones talked about the team for the week. They're the team for the quarter, right there. The defense was the team for the quarter. The Giants, oh man, the game was practically over, and I think I sent y'all in the group chat. It started like at 8 minutes left in the quarter.
Yeah,
7 minutes. It was crazy. That was
bananas. How you win, lose, and win again? I was like,
and then the Giants dismissed their kicker who missed what was it? 2 extra points.
2 extra points.
Two.
He's gone.
After that second, I was like, he out of there.
He cut.
So moving right along and still keeping with the Broncos, for whatever reason, Sean decided that he was going to take a jab at Russ Wilson in his press comments without saying it.
I missed that.
In reference to, you can look it up. He clearly said he hoped they had made a change at quarterback after they played them. So his hopes was that he implied if he had played Russ, it would have been much easier and he would have got the win. But
he wanted that pettiness to beat Russ, I guess. Maybe either or.
But shout out to Russ for getting with it and tweeting back. He put out a tweet and came directly at him. And that's usually not Russ. He usually says praise God and moves on. But for once he allowed himself to be human and use his free will.
Okay.
So shout out. And then, another one. Let's go with the Unk Bowl. Man, oh man, oh man.
That was good.
That was good.
That was a throwback Unk Bowl.
I had to watch that on replay.
Oh.
That's what's crazy.
Oh.
I had to watch that on replay.
That's a good replay though, because that was a good game.
Yes. So I was at Chris Brown.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was that night.
That's right. That was that night. That was
you had entanglements last week. She going back.
Oh,
Look at her closing her eyes. She all the way back in the
She
building.
closing her eyes. She shaking her head.
look,
I'm surprised
good
she didn't
time,
flip her hair yet.
Chris back in
good
front of her.
time, good time, good time. And then secondly, I also would like to bring up that I felt like I was at the Breezy Bowl, but I felt like I was at the at the Houston Part 2 Bowl because there were so many people from Houston at that last show.
Mm.
So I really, 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 really enjoyed that. Um, and then next, JSN. Look, he's had 4 weeks straight of a touchdown and 100 yards receiving.
Hey,
And he's earned every bit of that.
he's leading. He's leading the
Shout
league
out to
in
him.
yards. I think receiving yards.
He should.
Yeah, yeah.
He
They
should.
know how. They know how. They. I mean, him and Jamar Chase. They know how to
But
get
we're gonna
open.
get to Chase because he's
They know
next
how
on
to
my
get open.
bingo
Look,
card. He's lit with no chaser. Cause he it don't matter if it's double coverage,
Triple team.
corner,
They find a
what
way.
you find Chase and it's a catch.
the funny
Period.
thing about both of them is, to me, JSN is getting open no matter who's on him. Right? He getting that little window to where you see he's open, give him the ball. Chase not even open. And it's like just get the ball in the area, and the dude is all on him. He getting a PI and still catching the ball. It's like it don't matter who's on him.
Chase
Them,
put their hand up. He
them
put their
two
hand
guys
up.
right now playing crazy. So shout out to both of them because they playing bananas right now.
Yes. So shout out to Chase. And my last one would be Will Anderson with the fumble six. It's always good when you can get a fumble. It's always good when you can recover your own fumble. And it's even better if that recovery is in the end zone for six. I don't even think that whole play took 6 seconds.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
So shout out to him. And for my bonus bingo card of the whole teams for the week, I definitely have to give Lamb and Pickens some respect. They had a great game as a duo. I'm not ready to call them my top duo. I'm gonna still leave that with the Lions. And as you notice, I didn't put the Lions on my card, even though I know they outplayed Tampa Bay yesterday. But the only reason I didn't is because we know this duo is dynamic. Not discrediting them, but we know this duo is dynamic. We all picked the Lions to win.
That's your top duo. That's your top receiver duo. That's what you saying.
St. Brown.
You talking
I like.
receiver duo or
No, I just talk
quarterback?
overall offense.
Oh, I thought you said. I
I'm
thought you
talking
was
about
talking
like
about duo.
quarterback.
Okay.
I'm just talking quarterback and receiver, not like two receivers, because they
Okay, you
just
started with
play
Lamb and
together.
Pickens, so I thought you was going receiver duo. So you saying quarterback?
Oh,
too?
yeah. Sorry. I
Okay,
just because Dak's been playing great
okay.
without Lamb being back, but I'm
Hold on.
saying,
So that means you giving golf some love?
What?
well, wait a minute. Let's be
We're
Say
gonna
fair.
have
his
to. We're
name.
gonna.
Say
We're
his
Wait a
gonna
minute.
name.
say
No,
his
let's
name.
be
Say his
fair.
name.
Since he's been in Detroit, I left him alone.
You left him alone, but you still don't say his name. You just said you just gave him credit to be a top connection
Duo.
with his receiver. Say his name. So who you saying? Golf and St. Brown?
My first would be Darnold and JSN.
See how she switched that up.
Yep.
Okay.
That's why I said.
Okay.
Hey, a side note.
I mean, that's who my first would be. That's just who my first would be.
I was thinking about that game. Darnold and what's the dude from Minnesota? Man, I'm losing.
Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would have been a cool dude. So Darnold knows how to throw to his main receivers because Minnesota messed that up, but we ain't gonna go down that route.
I can't even go there. We in week 7 and put him on a whole nother team.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so
you talking about last year.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm talking about right now. I'm gonna give it to Darnold and JSN. My number 2, I don't know yet who I'm ready to make my number 2. I'm just gonna say that the top
D
the
D
top
D
three
D
the
Jones, come
top
on now.
three
Look what you,
is Dak and Pickens.
Just say they in Michigan. You don't want to say his name. Just say they in Detroit.
Michigan. Say they
And
just say that West Blue.
Saint Brown
And that
is in
dude,
there.
St. Brown. What's
He
his
in there.
quarterback name?
He in
What is
there.
he in there? That's
He in
cold.
there.
That's
And
cold.
then the last that we give credit to is Chase and anybody.
And Will
And anybody. Because
Browning
he
was good, but Browning was struggling to get him the ball. But yeah, chasing whoever.
chasing whoever.
Yeah.
Chase reminds me of, unfortunately, when Hop used to be in that situation. It was
Andre
like
Johnson too.
Hop caught the ball from everybody. It was just, what was the
Yeah.
plan? Get it up there to Hop. He gonna
Put it,
catch it.
put it in the area. Just put it in the
Put it in
area.
the area.
He'll do the rest. He'll do the rest. Just make
So
sure it's there.
yeah, so that was my bingo card of teams for the week. I just felt like it was some good things in week 7.
Love
Wanted to
it.
make sure I gave a proper shout out to all of them.
Love
But
it.
moving back along to our 4 games of the week, we're gonna start out with the Cowboys are gonna take on the Broncos. Um, I personally believe that the Cowboys are on a skid up, and we do know that there's some deficiencies in the Broncos. We don't want to discount a win as a win because that was a great week 7 win. But I think that the Cowboys have enough defense that they can take the Broncos. I don't think it'll be like last week. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Coach?
Well, it's kind of like you saying the Denver defense against the Cowboys offense. Then you got the Denver offense against the Cowboys defense. So
That's always the same.
I know, but I'm just saying
He say same.
it's yes, it's just like
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The same.
almost the same because you got a dominant offense against a dominant defense, then you got a subpar defense against a subpar offense. The game is
So
in
who you
Denver,
picking?
correct? The game's in Denver.
I was trying to check that. Yeah.
Denver.
Oh, okay. D Jones.
He said it. He said it with his chest. Denver makes me. It makes me shaky on this pick
Mhm.
I was gonna say
because
itch. I was like, what?
no, they don't make me itch. It just make me shaky on the pick because I don't think they can get by with what they did last week with this Cowboy offense. So, but I just really don't trust the Cowboy defense. So I'm gonna go
That's
home
my
team as well in a shootout. I think Bo Nix and those guys will be able to go toe to toe with the offense, and I think Denver defense I trust more than the Cowboys defense. So I'm gonna go with the home team and say Denver on this one. But they're gonna have a problem. I said last week when Lamb and Pickens together,
it's a problem.
that's a bona fide problem. And then
That's
all
a
they did was
problem.
open up the tight end. He got with
That's
2
a,
tuds. So
I mean, that's why I'm saying with both of them on the other end.
mhm.
I mean, if you
it's
think
a problem.
about Denver's defense, who did they have to cover on the Giants on offense? And
Yeah.
now you telling me who's your focal point? Is it Pickens or is it Lamb?
Well,
Because
you're gonna have to double one, and you have to put Pat on the other one. I think I would put Pat on Pickens and double CD because
Double
CD gonna
CD,
do a
yeah.
lot of crossing. He's gonna do a lot of your intermediate routes, but he can get loose, right? So I think you got to put a safety on top of CD, and you go double on CD, and you trust Pat Surtain to be able to cover Pickens 1-on-1 as much as you can. Because what's hurting you with Pickens is the downfield ball and a 50-50 ball, right? So I trust him to do that as being one of the top corners in the league, and then you just got to double and pray. That's all you can
And
do.
I
double
hope
and
your
pray.
linebacker
Okay.
game's strong.
Double and pray.
That's
Okay.
it.
Well,
That's it.
with that, Dallas fans, I'm the sole person that picked you. Okay. Remember that.
That was me last week. Y'all picked Washington.
Sure did.
On
Actually,
the
I
show.
changed
On the
after.
show. On the show.
Yeah, I picked on the show because I didn't realize he wasn't gonna have any receivers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I didn't realize that either, but I kept watching it. I didn't think
yeah,
about
but
that.
anyway,
Then he got hurt. So
that ain't even the subject. So we're gonna move on to the next game, and that would be
hmm.
the Texans versus the 49ers. The Texans are at home, and the 49ers are coming to town. And I'm sure it's going to look like a 49ers home game because people love to sell their tickets to 49ers fans
They
wherever
try.
they're traveling to. And yeah, coach,
For the first time this year, I'm going with the 49ers. With the team that's not the Texans, whoever the Texans are playing. Simply because Texans offense, even though the 49ers got a bunch of injuries, the thing about the 49ers offense is their identity is their identity, no matter Mac Jones is a quarterback or Purdy's the quarterback. So until
what's the
then,
identity?
the identity is they can run the ball.
McCaffrey. Yeah.
McCaffrey is the
McCaffrey,
identity.
they can give him run the ball, and they'll find a receiver that can actually
A
be
tight
good in
end.
that game or a tight end. But I'm just saying, one of the two, if a receiver is down, the other receiver will pick up. Or then, you got George Kittle and you got 39 guarding Kittle. So I'm going to go with the 49ers in this one. D. Jones.
39 not gonna guard Kittle, number one. Number two, what worries me is McCaffrey coming out the backfield. Because one thing that the Texans don't do well is pick up the running back out the backfield and those little dump passes. They will
Yes.
stop the run. They will be there for the run. But when they start dumping out the backfield, that's when our linebackers fall short and we miss tackles, as we know with the Tampa Bay game and this bang bang 49er game. But I'm going Texans all the way, pimp, at the house. We're gonna get it right. We're gonna have to play the rookies. We're not sure if Nico gonna be cleared out of concussion protocol. He took a pretty nasty fall last night, so we're gonna have to play those rookies. And I think number 14 is gonna have a breakout game. So watch him. I'm not sure why we took him off punt just because 17
Man,
was back. I'm not sure what we was thinking. Taking him out of the punt return and putting 17 back there slipping and sliding last night. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, 14,
slip and slide records.
14 goes off this week, and Texans
I'm
gonna
with
win.
D Jones. I'm with D Jones. And not even in the homer fashion, but almost for the same reason. Like there's something about embarrassment and redemption with this team. And
Hmm.
that's why we can't figure out what the team is because after embarrassment, they try to find redemption. And this was the most target throws that CJ missed in his career. He had, I think, 13 or 14 that were directly just on him. It wasn't on the pressure, it wasn't on the receiver. It was just bad throws that could have been connections. And I still think it's part of the not wanting to be hit. I mean, because I wouldn't want to be hit. I know he played football, but that don't mean you want to be hit. Period.
Yeah, I think it was
Uh,
evident last night a couple of times that he rushed, like his
He
clock was
was.
off. But yeah,
or he ran, but he elected to try to throw it instead of going ahead and keep running and
Yeah,
taking a
like that
fly.
one play you text about. I remember that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 It
Yeah.
was wide
But
open for a couple more yards, but it's like, the risk level. He said, "Nah, I'm good."
but our old line has to stop blocking three guys with one dude, leaving the running back. I mean the linebacker coming in.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I'm saying the old line was blocking one dude. The on one play, he was blocking one dude, the nose tackle, and the linebacker just came right behind, and that's how it's one of the sacks.
Yeah, they was getting the disguises was messing with them. But that's I mean that's a young line, and that's what we've done, and that's a great defensive line that we was up against last night. So I don't know. I have respect for the 49ers, but I don't think they defensive line is what Seattle was last night.
Fair. Well, we've talked about them long enough today, so that's
Hmm.
gonna be what it is.
Yeah.
And we're gonna we're gonna move on. And our next game up is our rematch. It's the Giants versus the Eagles. We know the Eagles went into MetLife, gave the Giants some life, gave Dart his first win, and had they swag all the way up that it might forgot to go to mile high. But at the same time,
They
I don't
went.
think this rematch is gonna be close.
They went. They just left early.
Yeah. So I don't think this rematch is gonna be close.
Hmm.
I anticipate the Eagles coming out somewhere in between the way they did last week, but also getting that run game going. I never had any doubts about Jalen, so I just think there might have been a disconnect, meaning we've seen it before, right? We've seen it when O'Brien was in Houston. There's sometimes just a coach, OC, he's just determined to run his offense regardless of the personnel to the detriment of the team. And at some point, somebody has to push back, whether it's the head coach or the offense collectively, because nothing that was done in week 7 was a surprise. Like nothing,
Right.
right? We
Mhm.
know the personnel is fitting for that, and we know Jalen is capable of that. So he didn't have some, performance that needed to go into the Hall of Fame, of best Sunday performances. That's who he is. So somebody need to call the play, or they're gonna be audible out of every play and to do what they
Hmm.
need to do. But I definitely don't think it'll be a close rematch. D
Hmm.
Jones.
I disagree that it's not going to be
Okay.
close. I think it'll be close. I think I do like the swag that the Giants are playing with right now. And I think Philly does enough to keep teams like that close. And being as we like on this show, we love division games. So division games always give us what we want. I, I don't know if it's going to be a field goal game, as Coach would say, but I do think I think Philly will win. I think Philly get back. Um,
Okay.
and like you just said, I don't know if Jalen knows, but he's a friend of this show, even though he hasn't been on here yet. Uh, we're gonna speak things into
Yes,
existence.
to
For
He's
existence.
sure.
he's a friend of the show, so we ride with H Town. So yeah, I'm going with Jalen and the Eagles to bounce back this week and get the dub. But I love the swag that the Giants are playing with their young quarterback and that running back. I just don't think they have enough on the outside. So what you think, Coach?
Everything along the lines you were saying, that as T was alluding to, the Eagles went back to said, "This is us. This is what we do. We're gonna try to run the ball. We're gonna run play action. We're gonna get our receivers the ball down the field. We're gonna run we're gonna run Hurts when we can. We're gonna do what we do." And that's what I loved about the game is they went back and said, "Hey, this is our identity. This is what
Mhm.
to do is stop us. If you can't stop us, we'll find another way. But we're gonna do what we're doing with that." Again, as you said, Jalen is a friend of the show, going with the Eagles for the simple fact that I believe they found their identity and they're going to stick with it. They're going to do what they do. The Giants, they're going to have their swag. And it's just the Eagles are going to be like, hey, this is what we do. What can you do to stop it? There's going to be a 7 and 10 point window, maybe 14
So
right then and
you
there.
think it ain't gonna be close either? So okay, that's
Nope.
cool.
Think it's
That's cool.
7 to 10.
7-10. Okay.
So let me just say this. You said they found their identity. I
They
just
had the
don't
identity. They just went back and said, "Look, we're gonna do what we do."
I think
I
it's
mean,
what we
they were
talked about last week. Sometimes they listen to the outside noise and
yes,
do
the
and get
outside
away from
noise.
what they do. I get
Right.
what you're saying.
That was the now it's like forget that shit, everything out. Let's do what we do.
T say it wasn't lost. How you find something that ain't lost?
That's like saying you found money in my house.
I'm
You
not
ain't
saying.
found no money in my house. It's my money. It's
Never,
my money.
never.
Never.
Not saying that loss is like this is us. Stop us.
I don't. So that's fair, but I think there's just no room for needing to prove anything at this point. They just need to win because they
That's
don't have
right.
to prove anything. We know who Saquon is. We know who AJ is. We know who Devontae is. We know who Hurts is. So at the end of the day, they just need to play because
Just go.
because
That's it.
because they're proven already. It don't matter who they OC is. So that's why I said it must have been just forced. We're gonna try my offense because they've already
Mhm.
had 4 coordinator changes since he's been there.
Yep.
So it's not that.
Yep.
Now, on the other hand, we're gonna move to our game of the week, which is Packers versus Steelers. I give this one our snob worthy spotlight due to your boy going back home again. Aaron is playing his old team. And I shouldn't say I don't think they're at home, but I mean I don't think they're going to Green Bay.
I'm not saying
Green
Pittsburgh.
Bay is coming to Pittsburgh, but I'm saying he's playing his original team. And
Mhm.
what's quite interesting to me is this is two huge fan bases that travel well and support well. So I'm interested to see how many Steelers fans sold their tickets to Green Bay fans. So
That's
I'm actually
crazy.
looking forward to seeing what does the stadium look like fan
That's a
wise
good
because
point. Yeah.
if you haven't traveled to Pittsburgh, you haven't missed much. But even still, if you're traveling for the stadium, it's a smaller market stadium. So, in the sense of when you think about selling tickets, you think about the dynamic would be easily noticeable. So, I'm interested to look at that from a fan perspective to see, what are they really gonna do? How really are you about your fandom? Because we know it happens a lot in Houston. We definitely know it happens a lot with Dallas, that there are a ton of people who are just marketing their season tickets. They're not
Hmm.
actually fans, but the Steelers are usually pretty loyal. So I'm
Mhm.
interested to see how that dynamic looks. But regardless of all the dynamics, for me, I know that the Steelers are at home, but I really believe Green Bay is going to come in with a little edge. Green Bay is in a tough position. They need more wins. And they're in a safety net because they have less losses than everyone else. So that tie is benefiting them right now because everybody else is a 2-loss team and they're a 1-loss team. So they're ironically the number 1 seed in the NFC. And I think they want to keep that stride going. But I am not a true believer in Aaron's consistency when he's faced with a lot of pressure. I think it'll be similar to me for I know Seahawks was the most dominant, but that's the approach I think of when I look at Green Bay. And I also think that you can get you a couple of good ones off Ramsey. You just because it's some plays you could just get him. And so I just feel
some,
like
some plays you could just get him.
So, but yeah.
But yeah, so I'm going with the road team. We're gonna let D Jones go last. So, coach,
I was just gonna recommend that. I wish this game was in Green Bay. Man, I wish this game was in Green Bay because I wanted to see the reaction and how Aaron will overcome with the emotions of the game. I really wish.
emotions.
I mean,
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He playing against the Packers. I mean,
He's
it's
not gonna have
Aaron
no
Rodgers
emotion.
against the Packers. It's neither here nor there.
I feel
But
where you're coming from. It would be different if it was in Green Bay. Yeah,
yes, it'd
it
be
would be.
Okay.
different that aspect of it.
Up
But
until the kickoff. I mean, after that, it is what it is.
it's a game. So you stole my thunder, so to speak,
Oh,
when you said you can get a couple good ones off of Ramsey. And because Ramsey is, I mean, he takes chances.
Okay. I
Yeah,
like that.
so he takes
That's a
chances,
good way of explaining it.
and then Green Bay, Michael Parsons is gonna be motivated because there's this old quarterback in him and TJ Watt and all of them is gonna be all of that. But I'm gonna go with UT. I'm gonna go with the Packers in this one, just because I believe the Packers we can be the top in this NFC team. We can come in here. We got to prove to win a road game. Here's the road game against your former quarterback that got you a ring. D Jones.
Man, yeah, I got more faith in them than I do this week. I don't, man. I was
Okay.
watching the game. I was watching the game last week, stressing, straight stressing for probably 40 minutes of the game. It was just like, what are we doing? I felt like a repeat last night, but that's my weekend. I agree with everything y'all saying from the Ramsey to and the Green Bay offense and the receivers that we have. Um, they got to get it together this week because it was just some things last week. I didn't think they entered the game with enough sense of urgency, and let Arizona kind of stick around with Brissett, and then finally they got themselves together. But what concerns me more than anything is the weakness in the Packers is their secondary, and the way that number 4 is playing over there with Aaron Rodgers. He gonna want to sling it. That does concern me being on the road. If this game was in Green Bay, I would probably feel a lot better. But after they played last week, I think they get themselves together and they come and play strong. All for the reasons that you said, T. They that NFC North is a juggernaut with Detroit and Chicago playing well right now. So they got to think about. I mean, not think about. I know they always thinking about winning the division, but they got to keep the stride so that they can keep in front of those guys. And because when it comes down to it, it's too early to think about playoffs, but home field is going to matter. So all these games really count. So I think they travel well. I just looked on one of the ticket sites, and there's a lot of resale tickets out there. There's a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some green in amongst that goal. But yeah, field goal game, coach. Green Bay Packers.
Woo. Well, I have two things before we leave tonight. I felt like I didn't really get an honorable mention in for teams of the week. And I don't know if honorable mention is the best thing. So maybe I'll hold that. And I'm gonna go on my rant
Uh-oh.
at first. And guess what? It's nothing personal. It's about baseball. I want to give a shout out to the Toronto Blue Jays
Springer Dinger.
returning to the World Series after 30 years, and all due to Springer Dinger. And what's even more remarkable is 2 games ago, the rudeness of the Mariners fans to take joy in him being hit in the knee with a ball. And I just want to say that I am sick of sports fans using sports as the only area where they want to bring up your bad. No matter how much more you do past your bad mark or how much you've done collectively. But in every other area of life, they want you to, it was the past. Let's move on. But for some reason, here we are 7 years later, and you guys are still worried about the 2017 World Series. And at the end of the day, Mariners, you wasn't even in the picture. You
At
wasn't
all.
even a thought at all for that year. Nobody did anything to you, And
That's just
so you
Astro
should
hate, though.
focus. You should focus that you are now the sole team that has never been to the World Series. You should focus on that.
Not
You
one
get to be
pitch. Not one pitch in the World Series. Not one.
not one. You don't even know what it's like to win.
You
You,
ain't
you
even
don't
put
even
a toe in
you
the
don't,
water.
Hey, as
so
what Breezy say, how you gonna hate? You can't even
how
get
you
in the
gonna hate?
club.
You
You
can't
can't
even
even
You
get
can't even
in.
get in the
you
club.
can't get in.
So I need y'all to focus on that because now you're just regular season regular. You can take your division wins because we didn't make the playoffs with plus 10 injuries. So you just regular, you basic, you average. So you keep on with your booing and laughing at former Astros players being injured that were part of the team in 2017. And we're gonna take pride, baby, and we claims all of them. We claims all of them.
For sure, for
So
sure.
we whispering
She added the SD. She added the S. Claims.
claims
Alls of them.
all
All
of
of them.
Yep.
all of
All
them.
of them.
Because
Yep.
guess what? I'm never gonna be an English or grammar teacher because I don't give a dang. Because you know what I'm saying. You know exactly what I'm saying.
Springer Dinger.
That's what we're
Man.
going for. That's what I'm with.
Man. They should
That's
blame
what
their
I'm with, too.
manager on that. Side note, they should blame their manager on that. I don't know why you just didn't put
I
him
don't
on
even
base
care.
or whatever.
I don't
I
even
think
care.
I think he made a great call. I think he made a great
Yep,
call.
me too. Made a great
It was a great
call.
call.
So,
So I would have did.
so I wanted to make sure that I put that out there and go with that. Now, for week 8, we didn't even mention that, that Vrabel went into Tennessee and got himself a win. We knew he would, but I just think there's some redemption there. It was not the right time to fire him when he was removed from the team.
I'm so glad they fired him, though. Not because of that, because they're the Titans.
I didn't want him there.
I
didn't want him there.
He can go to New England. I mean, I just didn't want him in the
I didn't want him
division
there.
no more.
Yeah, I didn't want him there.
Okay.
Yeah,
I hear you. And my honorable mention, because I'm not surprised, because if you really get to the statistics, it's been there, or the stats overall have been there. The Bears are on a winning streak. we need to give Caleb his credit, because we said this in the rookie season. We even talked about it. Remember, we were like, if you look at the numbers, he's not playing bad. It's just not enough to win. He wasn't giving teams the game, right? He wasn't coming in being a turnover machine.
Nope.
But I'm really, really, really glad to see that the energy that Ben is able to give him, and the way they're steering that team with what they have. And I see nothing but good ops for him in that situation. So shout out to the Bears overall, but definitely shout out to Caleb, because at the end of the day, y'all got to find something else, because, who was it? I'm not going to remember right now because we're going to get ready to go, but I know it happened. I was looking for the comments when I was watching was it Georgia game? Who lost? No. Who lost? LSU. When I was watching the LSU game and the quarterback was crying, he was just devastated and hurt. Nobody was doing. I can't find nothing on social media with him being weak and all these other things. It was about the coach. It was about, he just a competitor. He really wanted to win. But Caleb cries to his mama after the game. It's completely over. He in the stands, and y'all try to destroy this man in the media. Y'all just evil. So, and I don't care if his fingernails are pink every week. You not kissing or sucking them. Why do you care?
Oh, okay.
I don't understand. Why y'all care so much?
Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So on that note, D. Jones, tell the people where they can find you so we can go.
Oh Lord, I wasn't ready because I'm still on the fingers. But shout out to, I don't know if Dwayne's still on, but I think he's still in the lead on the pick'em. So shout out to him. You can find me at That Boy D Jones on Twitter and TikTok, and That Boy D Jones on Instagram. Coach, where you at?
Coach B Pat on Twitter and Instagram.
Well, I'm the Gransberry everywhere you want to look, but remember, do not DM me to ask me stupid questions.
Here we go.
And if you have to think if it's a stupid question,
It's a stupid
it
question.
It's a
is.
stupid question.
Peace.